It's the end of September in 1983. Sometimes the charts really play some games with us. This is one of those times. A lot of the songs outside of the top 40 are significantly better than the songs inside the top 40. You'll see what I'm talking about as the list goes on. We've got The Fix, we've got The Police, we have more of The Police, and the Bonnie Tyler song that we all know and love and sing at the top of our lungs, we've had it wrong the whole time. Grab yourself something to drink, get in your comfy chair, and get ready. This Week in the 80s starts now. This is definitely one of the more interesting charts that we're going to look over. We've gotten away from disco. Disco's gone, and we're getting more into the rock and roll side. We still have some strange songs kind of hanging around and injecting themselves into our chart, and it really doesn't make much sense that they're here. We'll get to that. The song that's at number 40 absolutely belongs on any chart you're going to make about the 80s. It's David Bowie's Modern Love. This is off the Let's Dance album, which produced, obviously, Let's Dance, and also China Girl. Does that guitar riff sound a little familiar? That's a young Stevie Ray Vaughan getting involved. At 39, we've got Culture Club with I'll Tumble For You. It's a weird tune. It's the third top 10 hit off their debut album, Kissing to Be Clever. It also gave us Do You Want to Hurt Me and Time. When they released this 45, there's the A side and the B side, right? Wrong, there's an A side and then another A side. They knew their next album was going to be a big deal, and the first song that they were going to release off it, they expected to be a big hit. So they put it out along with this one as a double A-sided record. So on one side, you've got I'll Tumble For You, and on the other side, Karma Chameleon. Good marketing, fellas. At 38, we got Rod Stewart, What Am I Gonna Do? I'm So In Love With You. Bye. The 24-year-old Bryan Adams reached number 24 in the Billboard 100 with this third release off of the Cuts Like a Knife album. The other two releases, Cuts Like a Knife, obviously, and this time also hit the charts. When Bryan Adams was recording the Cuts Like a Knife album in Studio B, Lou Gramm and Foreigner were in Studio A. On the last day of recording, when they were going to do the backing vocals, Bryan Adams' backup singers all got laryngitis. Lucky for him, Lou Gramm's a super nice guy. Bryan Adams recording this album, he's out of money. Lou comes in and lays down the backing vocals on most of the tracks on Cuts Like a Knife and doesn't even ask for a penny. Now that's pretty cool. 35 is Lady Love Me by George Benson. George Benson didn't write this song though, David Paich did. Who's David Paich? David Paich is from Toto. He wrote Hold the Line, he wrote Rosanna. That's him on the vocals for Toto's biggest hit, Africa. 35, Rick Springfield, Human Touch. It's a forgettable song, one that's on or it's off and you don't really care one way or the other. There's a lot of those on this chart this week. Human Touch was in the top 40 in the UK charts as well. Jesse's Girl never made it on the charts over there, and neither did Don't Talk to Strangers. So according to the UK charts, Rick Springfield is a one-hit wonder, but it's because of this song. At 34, we had Madness. Madness is the Our House in the Middle of the Streets guys. Originally, the song It Must Be Love came out in 1972, sung by Labi Siffre. Madness redid it, sent it out to us, and it's basically the song that you would hear in the background of some romantic comedy. 33 is Stevie Nicks. The song is called If Anyone Falls. It's the follow-up to her big song, Stand Back. This song is really overproduced, sort of fake music that you'd hear in the late 80s. Not here in 1983. There are 3 backing vocalists, as if Stevie Nicks needs more than Stevie Nicks. There is someone playing the drums, but there's also somebody whose job was drum overdubs. 32 is The Kinks. I love The Kinks. The song is Don't Forget to Dance. This is a sad song. When you read the words, you can't help but feel sad. It's depressing. It's sort of a slow, prodding melody, very different from the Kinks that we're used to, very different from Lola and You Really Got Me. Don't Forget to Dance was the last top 40 hit for the Kinks. At 31, we got the Moody Blues with Sitting at the Wheel. I don't know why the Moody Blues keep showing up on the charts. They're a 60s band. They sing 60s style music. We're 80s kids. We don't want to listen to that psychedelic stuff. There's too much synthesizing. There's too much voice chorus going on. There's too much of a lot of things on this tune. There's basically just too much cheese. It's another song that sounds like a throwaway from a bad 80s romantic comedy. At number 30, we've got The Motels. Now, if it's The Motels, you know it's going to be one of 2 songs. It's either going to be Only the Lonely or Suddenly Last Summer. In this case, it's Suddenly Last Summer. It's unrelated to a play from 1958 by Tennessee Williams. They didn't find out that the play even existed until after they had written and produced the song. Somehow this got to number 1 on the mainstream rock chart. If this is rock and roll, I need something else. So that's 40 to 30. Not really the best that we've seen. Maybe there's some relief on the way. Let's keep going. At 29, we've got Jackson Browne with Lawyers in Love. It's the title track off their 1983 Certified Gold album. 28 is Lionel Richie, All Night Long. It's just a background song to have on, but it does have a fun background. Lionel Richie performed this song at the closing ceremonies of the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. It was also on the pilot of Miami Vice. One more cool thing about the All Night Long video, it was produced by Michael Nesmith, who was Wool Hat from the Monkees. 26, Robert Plant with Big Log. First of all, it's a terrible name of a song. It's not mentioned once in the song. Big log is a term that truckers use for a long stretch of road. That's about as interesting as this song gets. Robert Plant should have stayed with Led Zeppelin. Okay, 25, Elton John, Kiss the Bride. Hold on, just hold it. Stop. Everybody, stop. This is a stretch of difficult songs. These aren't fun. They're not good. No one wants to hear them. There is relief though. We're leaving this top 40. Now, we're going to go out of the top 40 and we're going to head up to the top 100 and see if we can get songs from outside of the top 40 to come give us some interesting stuff. You're not going to believe what didn't make this chart. All right, here we go. 44, Elvis Costello, I Write the Books. 45, Def Leppard, Foolin'. 49, Huey Lewis, Heart and Soul. 51, Billy Joel, Uptown Girl. 62, Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield. Why isn't Pat Benatar in the Hall of Fame, by the way? There's something going on. 65, new on the charts, Bob Seger, Old Time Rock and Roll. Number 70, Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise. All these songs are not in the top 40, but that list that I just gave you, those are in the top 40. What's going on? 71, Break My Stride with Matthew Wilder. Let me tell you something real quick about that Matthew Wilder song. You gotta see the video. You gotta watch the Matthew Wilder video. You're not gonna believe what this dude looks like. Imagine what he looks like and then go watch the video. It's hysterical. 84, Peter Schilling, Major Tom. I'd rather listen to that song in the German version than some of the songs we just went over. Let's get back to the top 40. 25, Kiss the Bride by Elton. 24, She Works Hard for the Money by Donna Summer. 23, Peabo Bryson and Roberta Flack, Tonight I Celebrate My Love for You. 22 is Shalimar with Dead Giveaway. Guys, I'm just burning through these because these songs don't have anything interesting to talk about. I've researched all of them. I'm just going to go until I find something interesting to tell you. 21, Prince, Delirious. It's the second song off his 1999 album and the second top 10 hit for it too. All right, we're in the top 20. Now we got some stuff to talk about. Song 20, Every Breath You Take by The Police. Everything the Police ever did for all the awesomeness that they gave us, Every Breath You Take was their only #1 hit. This was written by Sting in the middle of relationship problems. People think it's a love song, but if you listen closer, it certainly isn't. Sting said, I think the song is very, very sinister and ugly, and people have actually misinterpreted it as being a gentle little love song when it's quite the opposite. Sorry, Sting, maybe you should be a little clearer, dude. BMI has called it the most played song in radio history. At one point in time, Sting was making $2,000 a day from royalty. At 19, we've got Sheena Easton with Telephone, that's Telefone. While it didn't win, it was nominated for the 1983 Grammy for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. 18, The Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. This is the first Talking Heads song that I can remember hearing. Before they settled on Burning Down the House, David Byrne was instead chanting Foam Rubber USA. What a different song that would have been. Foam Rubber USA! Burning Down the House is way more fun than that. It was their only top 10 hit, reaching number 9 a little bit later in the year. 17, The Fix, One Thing Leads to Another. Very anti-establishment song by The Fix, but it also turned out to be their best song performance-wise. It's the second release off the Reach the Beach album. Saved by Zero was the first. The Fix broke into the top 5 with this one, reaching number 4. At 16, we've got the Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. The only actual instrument in the song is the piano. Yeah, I know. The voice is an instrument and so a drum machine. They're instruments, they're just not. No, they're not. The rest of the instruments are synthesizers and drum machines. There are no 6-string guitars, there are no bass guitars, there isn't a drum set to be seen. Good thing Annie Lennox has a good voice. What was Dave doing the whole time? 15 was Michael Jackson, Human Nature. 14, Taco, Putting on the Ritz. This is one of my favorite 80s one-hit wonders. It's a cover song. The original Putting on the Ritz is from 1927. It was written by Irving Berlin. It was recorded by Harry Richmond, and then the more popular version was by Fred Astaire. It ran all the way up to number 4. That made Irving Berlin, who was 95 at the time, the oldest songwriter to break into the top 5 on the Billboard chart. 13, Laura Branigan, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? I know, your first thought is, isn't that a Michael Bolton song, Paul? You know what? It is a Michael Bolton song, but he didn't do it until 1990. In 1983, Michael Bolton offered this song to Arista Records, and Arista was going to have Air Supply do it. Don't get me started on Air Supply. The executive at Arista wanted to change it. Michael Bolton didn't want to change, so Michael Bolton said no. Arista said beat it. Michael Bolton gave it to Laura Branigan and ended up at #1 on the adult contemporary charts. Take that, Arista Records. See you later, Air Supply. 12, Naked Eyes with Promises, Promises. It's the follow-up to their big hit, Always Something There to Remind Me. On the Jelly Bean remixes, which if it came out in the 80s, Jelly Bean was probably involved, it's Madonna doing the background vocals. At 11, we've got Asia with Don't Cry. Asia was a supergroup. Not a supergroup like, oh, those guys are super. Like a supergroup, they pulled big pieces from other bands and put them all together to make one supergroup. They had guys from Yes, guys from the Buggles, and Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Don't Cry was their second and last song to make it into the top 10. Heat of the Moment was the first. All right, here we go with the top 10. Let's go. Number 10, Frank Stallone, Far From Over. This is the only bright spot from Staying Alive, which, as you know, because you watched the other video about the movies from 1983, Staying Alive is often considered the worst sequel in the history of sequels. And that includes Caddyshack 2. Frank Stallone, Sylvester's brother, was nominated for a Golden Globe for this song. Number 9 is Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton with Islands in the Stream. You know the words. I know the words. I don't know why. I don't know why it had to happen, but it did. The world, the whole planet, went crazy for this song. It ended up as #1 on the Billboard chart, #1 on the adult contemporary, obviously, #1 on the hot country. It was #1 in Australia, #1 in Austria. You know how those Austrians love their Kenny Rogers. All 4 of the Canadian charts, #1. Ireland, New Zealand, Norway, #2 there. You know, we had a joke about this song when we were kids. What song does Dolly Parton sing when she's in the pool floating on her back? Number 8, Michael Sembello, Maniac. It's the Flashdance song. And everybody knows the Flashdance song, and everyone knows Michael Sembello sings the Flashdance song. Michael Sembello didn't want to be known as the guy who sang the Flashdance song. He wanted to be known as the great musician Michael Sembello. As this song is rocketing up the charts, Michael Sembello is telling everybody, don't just associate me with this, know me for my art, not for this song. Number 7, Spandau Ballet with True. For a long time, I wrote Spandau Ballet off as just some soft Euro band with a soft song. But then I found out where they got their name. There's a prison in Germany called the Spandau Prison, and they used to hang people out front. And when you get hung, your feet kind of dangle like this, and they look like they're doing the ballet. The Spandau Ballet. It's dark, but it's kind of cool. Number 6, The Police again, it's King of Pain. The B-side on the 45 for this was a live version of Tea in the Sahara, and that's a cool tune too. The Synchronicity album is awesome. It's one you put on from beginning to end and just crank it up. You got Synchronicity 1, Synchronicity 2, King of Pain wrapped around your finger, Every Breath You Take, and Tea in the Sahara, and Murder by Numbers. What an awesome album. Number 5, 17 and Sexy. This song wouldn't be played today. Everyone would flip out about it. We could pull it off in 1983 though. It's a rockabilly song. It's fine. Number 4 is Air Supply, Making Love Out of Nothing at All. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it. 3, Without Hats and the Safety Dance. It's a really fun 80s tune. People were trying to figure out what it meant. Some people thought it was all about having safe sex. Other people thought it was an anti-nuke song and keep the world safe. Wrong. It's actually about dancing safely and keeping the disco dancers safe. Disco dancers, you have 2 of them and they're doing their disco dancing. Here come the punk kids and they've got this dance called the pogoing, where they would literally just be jumping up and down violently without care for anyone around them. And the disco dancers were getting injured. So the bouncers would have to come and ask these kids to dance safely. I'm not making it up. It's the safety dance. Number 2, Billy Joel, Tell Her About It. Billy Joel's offering us relationship advice. You know, one time Billy Joel was going home with Christy Brinkley. They get off the elevator at his apartment and Elle Macpherson is there waiting for him. Billy's got Christy Brinkley on his arm and Elle Macpherson at the door. What do? He had to make a decision. He sent Elle Macpherson packing because he had Christy Brinkley with him. There was no wrong answer on that quiz. And the number one song this week, Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. I mentioned earlier that we'd gotten it all wrong. Total Eclipse of the Heart was written by Jim Steinman, the guy who wrote all those songs for Meat Loaf. He wrote a lot of great songs. He wrote this one for Bonnie Tyler. At the time he was writing it, Jim Steinman was also writing a musical about Nosferatu, who is a vampire. This song is a vampire love song. This information will change the whole way you look at the song. If you look at it as a human love song, then this line is depressing. Your love is like a shadow on me all the time. That's depressing. Your love's like a shadow on me. I'm never in the sunshine. I'm just in the dark. Well, if you're a vampire, someone putting you in the shadows all the time is good news. How about this line? Think of the human version. Once upon a time there was light in my life. Now there's only love in the dark. That's depressing. What if you're a vampire? Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. That's good news for Dracula and friends. If you're looking to get some cool 80s stuff, I've got some links down below that you can click. Don't forget to do that. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget the bell. I'll see you soon. Does that style of play in... Can't remember the name of the song. Good go. Good go. Go. And that's him on the vocals for Africa's biggest hit, Toto. They're a 60s band. They sing 60s style. When we're putting the motels in the chart, it's going to be one of two songs. It's either Suddenly Last Summer or the other one. What is the other one? It's written by Dar. This is the only bright spot. Sprots. You know how those Austins love Austins? Austrians. So stupid.